everyone, and welcome back to the Real Talking Podcast with your hosts, JD and Ash. So, this week we're coming off the back of a bit of a sad news story with the Titan submarine that's imploded. So, the Titan was going down to explore the Titanic, which we've got some facts about actually.
Yeah, so the Titanic left Southampton's White Star Dock on Wednesday, the 10th of April 1912, shortly after 12 noon. But unfortunately, 2 days into its journey, one sec, sorry. Yeah, 2 days into its journey, so shortly after midnight on April 14th, so that's just 2 days, struck an iceberg 1,300 miles northeast of New York and sank in just 2 hours and 40 minutes. So there was going down to view the Titanic because a lot of people think by 2030, due to bacteria that's eating away at the Titanic's metal, it won't last very much longer. They reckon by 2030 it could vanish.
But it's quite interesting, really, because it's been down there for over 100 years.
Yeah.
So it's lasted quite long. But on the other hand, you think of all these pirate ships and the lost treasures and everything at the bottom of the oceans. As far as we know, they're still alright, aren't they?
Yeah, I think it's because it's obviously made from metal. Obviously, it says in here due to the bacteria that's eating away at the metal.
Yeah,
so with those pirate ships were made of, like, obviously.
Yeah, I know. They would have been old wooden
Old
ones
school,
originally.
yeah.
And built to not hit icebergs as well.
Yeah.
It's, I mean, obviously, different metals react differently with the salt water as well.
That's
You know,
it, yeah.
We normally get the rust in general, but yeah, big steel ship, it's not going to last long, really. Well, let's say over 100 years, it's had some good innings.
Yeah.
Um,
Sorry, I was going to say as well, also, obviously, the water was cold when, obviously, the Titanic hit the iceberg. They reckon it was -2, around those temperatures in the water.
Yeah, so because the ocean is raising its own temperature
Yeah.
over the years,
Yeah.
it probably is speeding up the deterioration of the ship as well.
Yeah, so I can, obviously going back to submarine, obviously they ain't got long left, and they only did have the Titan submarine. It was the only one set to go this year to explore the Titanic.
Yeah, which it was because there was an open window with the weather.
Yeah. So they reckon that would have been the only one that would have managed this year to get out and view the Titanic.
Yeah, which leads on to some of the interesting facts that we've seen about this Titan submarine now. Then, so as a brief introductory timeline, so on Sunday, 8 a.m. That was when they were aimed to start. It was actually 12 p.m. when the submarine started off on what should have been a 2-hour descent to the Titanic wreck, nearly 4,000 meters below sea level. But 1 hour and 45 minutes into it, that's when it's lost communication. So 2 hours descent, have a mooch around, and then 2 hours back up. So that should have been 7 p.m. when they've re-emerged, but it hasn't come up.
Yeah.
So the first red flag going off of that timeline really is an hour and 45 in, they've lost communication. So what we've seen, they've set sail on their own in this submarine, and they've been on their own the whole way. So straight away you think, why isn't it more regulated, like a normal diving session, or any of these other like one-man submarine missions where there's a physical ship that gets them to location and then they descend from the ship. So that's
because it just makes sense, because obviously if something was to go wrong, you're on the spot. You can tell people where your location is.
Yeah, and it's an easier way to have the communication. Now, I guess they probably wouldn't be able to have. I don't see why not, but there could have been a cable directly linked to the submarine to go down to the 4,000 meters, or if not a physical connection, they could have easily dropped a probe of some sorts, at least halfway down, that could still have the communication. But obviously, because they didn't have a ship, they haven't even got any of those intact for it. And then looking into it as well, so the submarine was only controlled by a Logitech controller, which is for video games. So it's a more of an old school PC gaming controller. From what I see, no one really uses the Logitech tech brand these days. There was no regulatory authority that verified any of the safety features or anything of the actual submarine. And its tracking device was an Apple AirTag, which is around £35. So fair enough, these AirTags can pinpoint your position, pretty much anywhere on the earth. But there's no other submarines.
Yeah, when you've got that much pressure around it.
Like, submarines that actually have people inside. This was apparently the only submarine that can go that deep. All the other submarines that have been down are unmanned ones, so robots, essentially. They're just controlled from a computer somewhere, usually from a ship that's 4,000 metres above. So, why'd have thought an AirTag would be able to pick up so far down? So it's probably as they've got, hour and 45 minutes as they've lost communication, so they're probably about 3,500-ish metres down at that point, and it can't pick it up. Now, just for some clarification, that deep down in the ocean, there's no sunlight, and it's that dark. Even with the torches that they would have had on there, the light you'd only be able to see the light about 20 metres away. So if the light can only get 20 metres, why did I think that the satellite signal can get further down than that? That's a satellite that's in the sky as well, that's trying to track you. It makes me laugh because the more I think about it, this billionaire who's created this submarine and thought about this magical, exploration.
So he's the one that created it and then went on it?
Yeah. So it was just his idea. And obviously they were all wealthy, weren't they?
Yeah, well, I heard they had to pay 250,000. I don't know if that was dollars or
I believe
pounds.
it's dollars paid, yeah, but $250,000 either way they've had to pay to be a part of this unfortunate mission, which it is crazy. I mean, I get it, it's history, and no one else is really going to be able to see it, especially if it does deteriorate in a few years' time. But to pay that much money to do something that it'd never been tested out, let alone anyone else had done it. So why you'd want to be a part of that? Again, if it was, it's like if they were trying to send average people up to the moon. You've got to go through physical training. I don't know how much they've actually done.
Why would you put yourself in that situation without not being tested beforehand?
Yeah, and I did see at least one person pulled out of it as well because he was concerned about the safety features. He wasn't happy with what he was seeing. So if one's doing it, why haven't the rest of them done it? I see the glory of it.
I think it's the glory.
If it comes off and you're going down in history, but they're still going down in history for the wrong reasons now, which is a shame. It should have been done so much better. Why they haven't actually, just put these features into position? Why has someone actually allowed this to happen when there wasn't an actual governing body to say yes or no? From what I've seen as well, the US Marines or the Coast Guards knew within the 2 hours that it had already imploded.
Is that what they reckon happened? That they imploded straight away when he lost signal? That's when it's lost signal, or did he lose signal, then travelled further on down, then imploded? Or does that not come out?
Yeah. So they're sending down some of these robotic submarines that can actually withstand this pressure. They've got to take pictures and CSI get some evidence and try and puzzle it all back together. But there was one interview from a scientist that I've seen where he was explaining. So he worked for, I believe it was a university or a company that they design and build submarines. So this submarine in particular, the Titan, was built out of carbon fibre. So the benefits of the carbon fibre are that it's lighter, cheaper material, but that's about it really.
Yeah. And so why would you want to cheap out?
Exactly. So every other submarine and ships really, they're all built out of steel or aluminium, which I know when you think of aluminium or aluminum for the American listeners, you know it's a thin material that we see as aluminium all the time. You know, tin foil as we call it in the UK. But when it's built properly, it's thick, it's strong. The steel's obviously thick, strong, durable, and the main benefits is so because of the temperature changing and with the pressure, the metal materials they will expand and extract with the changes. So when you've seen it on the films, when they're going down in the submarines and stuff, and you hear the cracking, the creaking noises, that's because it's the metal moving and it's tightening itself up essentially. So even though the carbon fibre can do that, all it's had to have needed was essentially, as they've got by the Titanic, if they've slightly caught a part of the ship, or to be fair, even if like a fish hit it hard enough, because it's under that much pressure already.
Yeah, it's so much strain onto it.
Yet that the carbon fibre just needs a little bit of a chip, and it's all going to implode. So, for anyone that doesn't know, an implosion is the opposite of an explosion.
Yeah.
Which I know it sounds a bit obvious, but an explosion expands out, everything bursts from out, just around. But the implosion, because all that pressure's around it, everything's shot inside.
Yeah.
And the water would have gone in, the oxygen wouldn't have even had chance to escape. It's just imagine if you've got like an empty bag of crisps in your hands, or a full bag of crisps, and you're physically squashing it.
Yeah, the best way I've seen it described as, imagine if you had an egg in your hand, in your fist, and you clenched your fist. That's the kind of what a way to go, don't I?
I mean, I suppose
it's instant, but
if it was the implosion, then yeah, it would have been instant. If it wasn't an implosion, then you know they would have had, I believe it was up to 5 days worth of oxygen, which wouldn't have lasted long, and then with the panicking that would have happened, there would have been more. There would have been more hectic. They would have breathed a bit more heavily. It would have depleted faster. And there was no room to stand up and walk around.
Yeah, so that's one of the things I thought. If there was obviously still alive, and it didn't implode, and it was down there for like a number of hours or days.
Yeah.
You know, going to the bathroom.
Well,
you know,
again,
because you've got to, you know. But
it would have been. It would have been. You know, they would have had to gone for a wee and a poo. They probably would have been sick and that as well, due to the pressure being underneath for so long, and potentially starved to death as well.
Yeah, that's true. I know we touched up on it, but I don't understand why there wasn't like a ship that went out to the location and dropped them from that location, just so if there was any trouble or just anything, there's someone over to, you know, is he wrenching back up? I don't know if it's called that.
Yeah, so again, if it was like what I alluded to with a physical cable connection to it, they could have reeled them back
in. So
like a big fish. But so even still, so over 2.5 hours after they should have returned to the surface, that was when the Coast Guard and whoever had actually started looking for them.
Because it was in there for a while, even the journey itself, from descent to viewing if everything went alright, and then back to like shore. I think it was it over an hour trip?
Yeah, just to get to the initial location. Yeah,
there must have been something to pissing or something at least then. I don't know.
Well, I don't know. Maybe they probably would have.
I don't know.
Probably done a little bit of fasting or something, or I don't know. Maybe had nappies on or something.
Yeah.
It's something that I haven't seen much about. Well, anything about rather, to be fair. Their preparations for it.
I've seen what it looked like. It was literally just that lodge controller a little panic button behind, like
Yeah.
one that, and that was it.
Yeah, and again,
Oh, and the
just
window, obviously the
yeah,
glass window.
just
Yeah.
a dome window to
Yeah.
look at. That must have been very optimistic to think that was going to be a good experience.
Yeah.
I don't know why you would want to put yourself through it, but say it's billionaires, they've got that much money. He obviously didn't want to buy a football club or anything, so he's decided to go for this experiment. It is a shame, but these people, it's self-inflicted essentially. I know we shouldn't say it negatively, but they have bought it on themselves.
Yeah, I mean, you're cutting corners on carbon fibre.
Yeah.
I know if I'm going somewhere and I'm a billionaire, like I'm not going to space.
Yeah,
It's
yeah.
something, and it's we know more about space than we do about the bottom of the ocean. So
Well, that's it, because I know the flat earthers won't believe it again, but there has been more space exploration than undersea. But at least when Richard Branson done it a few years ago with that space plane.
there's a few of them doing it because Amazon done his, Jeff Bezos,
Yeah.
and Elon Musk. Obviously, Elon Musk has obviously turned it into like a prime.
Yeah,
he's excelled it compared to the others.
Yeah, he's going to take it to the next level, I do believe. But at least with that, let's just say there was a Willy Wonka golden ticket style competition, and you got the chance to go. There's already been years and years of
dummy runs. Yeah.
It's happened so many times, so you've got a bit more faith. Yes, there's always the chance of something going wrong, but you can go out onto the street and potentially die anyway.
Yeah.
But the fact that there was no other submarines that have done it, built that way, or even the weather conditions, there was only one open window for it in the whole of the year.
You're fighting against the odds just to get down there.
Yeah, it's just a full red flag just to start with, which it is a shame. But it's as we say, it's rich people doing rich things. I know I wouldn't want to drive a car that's not being tested or anything. A new prototype. That's what they do. All these crash dummy tests and everything. But since they haven't done it with any of that, it is crazy.
I just can't believe they cut corners. I think.
Yeah.
And it'd be interesting to find out if I should say, sorry, when it imploded, did they have the 4 days? Did they have 3 days? Did they just, when they lost signal the first time? It'd be interesting to see actually when it actually imploded.
Yeah, I think there's. I imagine they're probably already writing it. There's going to be a movie. There'll no doubt be a Netflix documentary series about it as well.
Netflix are on that.
Yeah,
but it'd be interesting to watch though. I love when I throw some conspiracy. There would be some conspiracy.
I'm surprised I haven't seen any yet. I've seen some of the stupid
If
memes.
you wanted to get away, let's just throw a conspiracy out. If you wanted to get away, perfect way to do it. If you think about it, we're selling sour love.
Oh, sorry. If you're saying if this billionaire wanted to kill someone.
No, well,
or
if
someone
he wanted to
kill this billionaire
or run away himself, in terms of.
Oh, so he's faked his own death.
Yeah.
That's a good
So think about it.
Yeah.
They've gone so far. Because why would you travel so far? I mean, I know you just get on a boat and drop it, but sail from shore, boat picks you up, drop it, it's gonna implode. It's gonna.
So for that to be a solid theory, then. So inside of this, as all 5, 6 of them, however many it was, they're just toddling along, got above the Titanic drop zone, and then they've had a replica already shattered pieces, dropped them down, and then they've dropped their air tag as well.
Or they just got off their submarine onto a boat and just dropped that one there, knowing that it's going to implode, it's not going to survive. Obviously, they made it from that carbon fibre. They must have done some tests, so far down, it's showing signs. So I don't know, just a.
And then now they're on Epstein's Island there.
Well, he's got the money.
Maybe. Otherwise, one that popped into my head that I'm waiting to see someone come out with is the Titanic's like an alien space base. And so as they've got so close, they've just shot them with a laser or something
Yeah.
and killed them that way. Or maybe it's the mer people that are down there just chilling and to see to see this submarine coming along and they're like, hang on, that's not a fish. So they're going like, give a little twat and just kill them that way maybe. I've seen a lot of the memes. There was one where it's Tom Hanks dancing and they're like, Tom Hanks ready to take that $1 million contract for a new Oscar award-winning film or whatever, because he likes his Castaway style films. It's a shame that people do that. Really, it's not so much of a laughing matter for it, but there's gonna be a load of them coming out, isn't there?
Yeah.
I mean, it would be funny to see if your one actually come out, because it did happen.
It'd be funny if this being he's run up a load of debt. Let's just say, because obviously, let's just say he's got himself into some trouble.
Yeah.
And put some money in offshore account, maybe cash on a boat. That's enough. On the boat, sink it, implodes, wherever.
Yeah. Yeah, it'd be funny that would, because I know someone did it years ago, where basically the chap done one on a little boat, and the wife claimed his life insurance, dead at sea, lost at sea, whatever it was, and then it was about 5 years later, it was found out that he just hid in the house essentially, and they were living off his life insurance money. I don't know if he got any jail time or anything, but I mean, how can you think you can get away with it all? Because you can't stay in the house all that time. So obviously, after so long, he's gone wandering around again, and people are like, "Oh yeah, there's Jeff," or whatever his name was.
The way I think that's coming to my mind because it's so outrageously stupid when you think about it. Like even me and you just talking about it would have been like, I ain't going on that.
No,
nothing about this sea, how it works. But I ain't jumping in a little tomb for 4 hours to dive. Like an overnight hour trip. It doesn't make sense why you'd cocoon yourself for so long.
No. And with people that you don't know.
And when you're billionaires where you've got unlimited resources, so it just even if the boat couldn't didn't drop from the boat, you could have took it along the submarine. Sorry, the boat should have took the submarine along. It's just that's all why I'm thinking that. It just seems a bit too maybe it's just the world we live in where we think everything is not what it is.
But it should have been, there's just a complete lack of common sense with it. There should have been a boat
more in place.
Take them there. There should have been more of a tracking device than just an Apple AirTag.
Even if they had a shadow boat, just in case something was to happen, they just sailed alongside them. I was just sailed alongside it, and then just stayed. So if anything was to go wrong, you've got location.
Yeah, but even just the basic of it, where you come back up and then you're on the boat and you're just having a scran and you're having a good talk about everything. You're telling someone else straight away that wasn't down there with you.
You're not cocooned for so long. You enjoy, but I suppose looking forward.
You're in the submarine for less time then as well. So.
And if you do need to go to the bathroom, obviously you're in a bigger boat and everything.
Yeah, you're not holding it in for as long, so you're above the Titanic, you're down, 2 hours down, an hour mooch around, whatever it would take, 2 hours back up, so 5 to 6 hours in the submarine, as opposed to, probably like a 10-hour
I think,
mission overall.
Yeah, I think it was something like 4 hours there, 2.5 hours dive, an hour looking around or whatever it would have been, then 2 hours back up, and obviously 4 hours back, but that's a long time to go.
It is, and as I say, for it to have dragged on for as long as it did, when from what I've seen, the Coast Guards and the Marines and whatever already knew within hours of it losing signal that there was no chance of finding it. And I know they've had to do the searches for them to try and find anything. From what I've seen, there was no signs of any bodies anyway.
Yeah, because I think when it implodes, you just basically not evaporate, but because there's that much pressure, you just
Yeah, they would have just been squashed into like a small ball and then essentially fish food
Yeah.
for whatever aquatic life forms are down there. As I say, don't know what
Just don't know.
people eat, to be honest.
Yeah.
Well, I imagine mainly fish, probably starfish. If there's crabs or lobsters or anything that deep, maybe I don't know. Maybe we'll see David Attenborough with some cameras down there exploring at one point. He loves an ocean. What is it? Wet Planet? Is it? It's his documentaries.
Oh, is it Blue Planet?
Blue Planet. That's it. Might see a Blue Planet Titanic version. He's had some good innings as well, really, hasn't he?
Yeah.
He's doing well.
I can't imagine watching a show like that. You know, when it comes to animals and wildlife, without David Attenborough narrating it.
Yeah.
It's just like he just wouldn't be the same. Nope. Well, that's going to hit different when he goes. Actually, and you watching one without him talking over it.
I don't know who would do it really.
No, because he does the Apple ones. No, sorry, he does the Jurassic, the BBC One show. So he basically talks about dinosaurs now.
Was it Walking with Dinosaurs?
It could have been that, yeah. Yeah.
I didn't watch it, but well, I saw like a little clip, and it was just I don't think the CGI was good enough for where it needed to be for it, really.
He poured it along though. He made it. He carried it.
Well, he would do, wouldn't he? So I think move on from this sad Titan story now, and I've got a bit of a rant to come out with now.
Go on, Jack.
You know me.
It's been a few weeks though, to be honest.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not gonna slag off Sam Smith too much, going off of that clip, which I'll insert here if I can figure it out. So,
I mean, if anyone hasn't seen it, he literally he runs. He's got a costume on. I don't know what the costume is. You said it looked like a Ninja Turtle.
I saw it. I thought he was trying to dress up as one of the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, but I also thought, I don't know if you remember the episode of Morphin Power Rangers where Bulk and Skull pretend to be Power Rangers and they dress up in these stupid costumes, and you've got Bulk all stretched out with this costume, and it just reminded me of that, trying to be the worst Green Ranger ever. And so he tries to do a crowd surf. I don't know what happened as he's jumped onto the crowd, whether they've actually caught him.
No, it looks like he's fell right to the floor and took a few people with him because he's a big lad. And he's pretty tall as well. I think he's like 6'4" and he's 6'2". So
so I'm not going to comment on that too much.
I just don't know why he thought it could happen as well. Like he didn't. Even, I don't know if the people knew because they all looked like taken back of him just running and jumping.
Yeah, surely you'd give a bit of a warning for it, but it's not like. So the crowd surfing was more from the scene of the rock music and like metal music, and that really wasn't it. So when someone's doing a generic pop song, you don't expect it to happen, would you?
Just looking for attention, I think.
Yeah, I know Katy Perry done it a few years ago, and she said it was the worst thing she ever done.
Yeah, I can imagine people grabbing her everywhere.
Yeah, there was people trying to slip a finger in and all sorts and that. As much as you're laughing, I wasn't there that day.
No, I could just imagine it like it's my only chance.
It would have been, yeah.
Yeah, she wrong choice for her.
Yeah. So anyway, it wasn't that was going to bring up really. But so Gabby Agbonlahor.
Now, when I see Gabby Agbonlahor, well, when I hear him on TalkSport, for the American listeners, he's an older Premier League player. I always feel he just he says stuff for reactions.
Yeah,
he just says it for reaction. You don't mean it. That's the way he comes across to me.
Yeah, he's the same as a lot of these other pundits and radio presenters. They don't watch enough football to give opinions on all of them. I'm not saying that I watch enough football to know everything that needs to be known, but he's come out. So while he's on TalkSport, he believes that he'd be worth 35 million on today's transfer market. Now, this man As he retired at the age of 32, he'd only scored 86 times in 391 appearances. Professional appearances, 86 times.
So that's like a goal like every three, right? Less than that, more than that. Eh? It's the worst ratio than that.
Yeah, so I don't know,
It's like
almost a goal every 4 games roughly. And this is a striker.
yeah, he had that one good season. I remember he had one good season where I think he scored like 16 or 17 Prem goals.
Yeah,
So if you take away that as well, no, it's just
it's an absolute. Why is so delusional to think that it'd be worth 35 million? So with today's market, so 35 million, it's a lot of money, but it's not. That's not money for a top tier striker.
no.
You know, I know that Man City got Haaland for a cheap price,
Yeah,
but there's a lot of hidden fees with that. You know, his agent's got
yeah,
what, 50 million. Dortmund would have got a backhander as well, and yeah, there'll be hidden costs. He'll be getting paid more, like bonuses and stuff as well. So exclude that out of the way. Darwin Nunez for Liverpool.
it was 86, wasn't it?
Yeah. So again, he didn't have a great season, but
Yeah, we're talking like your your top tier strikers, probably your mid tier strikers for 40 million.
yeah. So for 35, 40 million, I'd be expecting Premier League goals 16 to 20.
Oh, don't.
Because that's for a decent enough striker. Ivan Toney, he got
Yeah, Ivan Toney's a really good. I think.
yeah, and that was for Brentford. He got a good goal tally for last season.
But he's deluded though, isn't he, Gabby?
Gabby is absolutely.
I don't think he's be worth anywhere near that. Probably like,
Well, as I say,
didn't he retire early as well? Like no one wanted him, did they?
32. He had
He was overweight.
Yeah, he was
didn't look
overweight
after
for a long
himself.
time. He pretty much peaked that one season.
He
And
had
then
that one good season.
after that, he went to his head and he stopped training properly, put on weight.
Yeah.
He had a loan at Watford's, and I don't know if it was Sheffield's Wednesday maybe. But yeah, he did have a good
He was rapid, and then he got heavy, and obviously
yeah, his pace went
it
there.
just
But yeah, so I'd laughed about that. It done my head in why he thinks he was as as good as he claims to be. But it reminded me of when I met him years ago. So I was fitting a kitchen. The apartment that I don't know if he still lives there, but the apartment block that he was living in at the time, I was fitting a kitchen in that same apartment. And I had my van parked a couple of spaces away from his Lamborghini, which was covered in dust. You know, he'd obviously bought it, parked it, and never drove it.
yeah, hardly used it.
Yeah, so literally, because I did wipe my finger on it, and I was like, filth. And the particular day that I saw him, so I've gone down to the van to get whatever out of it, bit of materials or a tool or something. And with the underground car, well, it wasn't an underground car park, it was under the actual apartments, but it was street level. And so there was like a gate on the street level, so you could see into the car park or see out onto the street. So down at the van, and I've seen him walking past the gate on the street, and obviously I've clocked him. I was like, "You're all right, Gab," and he's gone, "You're all right, mate," and he's all smiles, thinking, "Oh, I've got a fan here." Now the day before, either on the Saturday or the Sunday, Villa got battered, which wasn't an uncommon thing back in the day. So he's all happy, thinking, "Yeah, this is great. This is."
Yeah,
You know,
fan.
he's going to want a signature or something, and I was like, played shit yesterday, didn't you, mate? And if those gates weren't there, he would have swung for me. His face just completely changed. He told me to fuck off, which I just laughed at him. You know, he's absolute muppet. And the fact that one of the weekends when we used to go to the clubs, I remember so I was walking along. I was probably just doing one of my usual ones. I got to the point where I just went to go home on my own. So I was walking along, and this girl stopped me, trying to chat to me. She said, "Oh, do you know who I am?" Like, obviously not, no. So she was saying she's Gabby's baby's mama, and so she had his children, and she was trying it on with me, thinking that I was going to do it, or go back with her or whatever, while So the fact that his missus was always sleeping around as well. Well, he was probably doing it to be fair. But yeah, for how good he thinks he is, he's just absolutely off his rockers.
Yeah.
He's just, I can't believe he thinks he's as good as, he's never earned as much money as all these other people and that as well. That's why he's working for TalkSport now. And he just hasn't got a proper opinion. It's all, they hand it to him. So, the same as Jamie O'Hara, it's the people in the back that are like, right, you know, this is going to stir up, this is going to get some views and that.
Yeah.
I'd say probably the one few people that I do like on TalkSport, Laura Woods, she's alright.
She's leaving, isn't she?
Is she?
Yeah.
I saw the one clip that was when they do the shows on YouTube and stuff. Someone rang up, I don't know, chatting something stupid, made a stupid comment, and then as they put the phone down, she's going, "Oh fuck off," like saying it to the other presenter, like, "You fucking stupid idiot," and she's like sticking her fingers up, and she looks up, realises the cameras are still on, and so she's like flapping it there. Alan Brazil, does he still do it?
I don't know. I don't really listen to it.
I haven't listened to it for a long time.
All I know is obviously I see the clips come up a lot, but yeah, I know she's leaving.
Yeah, McCoist, he was alright as well. Ali McCoist. I don't listen to any of them no more. They're just, some of them just badger on, and it's a lot of it's always one-sided as well. You know, it's just they have their own opinion and they're not happy what fans think of or anything.
And that's the thing about football, and it creates opinion, and everyone's got an opinion on it.
Yeah.
And everyone likes to tell you their opinion on it.
Yeah.
And their
the majority
right.
have to be right. I mean, I don't care. It's you know, it's a game that we're meant to enjoy.
Yeah.
You know, when you see all these thugs, the Zulus, and all that still have to go to the games and have fights and that. It's just no need for it. Yeah. But I'm looking forward to the games to start off again soon. It's horrible. You know, I've not watched any of the England games.
No, there'd be no point.
You know, it's the amazing 11 goals in 2 games against teams that, you know, you couldn't even point out on the map, could you really?
Now, you'd think like a standard semi-pro team would give more to a North Macedonia game, if not beat them.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know if you saw it the other week. Wrexham, that played against, I don't know if it was the USA women's international team.
Oh, and the 7-a-side, the women's.
Yeah, so it was only a 40 or 45 minute game, and they battered them 12-0.
Yeah, 7-a-side, wasn't it? Yeah. And he weren't even Wrexham, it was the old Wrexham players.
Yeah. So
it weren't Corey, it was.
You know, so it's that kind of thing you expect, but it's just sad, game. It's just boring football. I can't. And the fact that he still picks Harry Maguire, so he's played more minutes for England this year than he has for Man United. So how can he claim to still be picking a player that's on form when he hasn't been playing?
Yeah.
He's got his favourites. Again, Calvin Phillips. Well, you know, he's been pointed out to leave Man City this transfer window, but even he's come out and says, "No, we've just won the treble. Why would I leave?"
Yeah.
And he's just made next to no appearances all season either, but he still gets straight into the team. Maddison as well, not had a good season. Walks into the England team. It's just too biased, you know. It's to be fair, he always has been, really, hasn't he? I remember years ago, James Beattie, underrated, absolutely quality striker, and I think he only had like 1 or 2 caps for England.
Yeah, and Kevin Phillips.
Kevin Phillips, absolutely fantastic he was. But especially when they were playing in the Championship as well, they were just on form, and if they would have been into the England team, you know, they had all the bites, the passion, that, you know, it would have been a lot better. I know there was strikers like Owen and at the time, but you know, I remember Heskey, when he wasn't on form, they could have easily walked in front of him, but they were playing them instead.
Yeah.
It's a shame that international football's like that, really, because you don't have it with other countries. They play them on form, don't they? You know, Italy, when they had their glory years, it was all players that were playing in Italy. Italy, and most of them were playing in the clubs together, so they knew each other. I think Wolves were trying to do that a bit with the majority of Portuguese squad at one point, which he's done all right as well, hasn't he? Ruben Neves going to
47 million, is it?
Saudi Arabia. He'll be. I haven't seen what he's going to get, but he'll be getting probably like 25, 30 million a year now.
Yeah.
They're absolutely dominating it.
Yeah. Because Conte went there as well, hasn't he?
Yeah, he's gone on a free.
How much is he?
I think he's getting 50 million.
Yeah.
I think that's what I've seen.
That's net as well in Saudi Arabia. That's net. That's what you're taking home.
I know.
You just would though, innit? Especially the people like Benzema, Ronaldo, like 36, 37, 2-year, 3-year contract.
Yeah, so for 2 years, Ronaldo was getting, I believe, it was 197 million.
Every season or for the 2 years?
For the 2 years. I think Benzema was getting, I think his was 210 or 215 for 2 years as well. I know Messi was offered something stupid to go, but I know he had his debut, on his debut for Inter Miami, he had a good game. Because I didn't know their league was still playing, so it's literally he's left PSG, gone straight into that team.
Is he even playing?
Yeah, he got 2 or 3 goals in his first game and a couple of assists as well.
Has it? I didn't even know he's even made an appearance.
Yeah, because it was literally like he'd left PSG and it was like 3 days later he was in the starting line and they played a game.
Are you getting confused with the clip? I've seen this clip where Barcelona actually went to Miami and wearing a pink t-shirt.
No, he was saying it was Inter Miami.
Because let me just check this. Because I've never seen this. I don't even think they've unveiled him yet. Because I know they've signed Sergio Busquets now.
I've not seen that.
Yeah. Let's have a look. Because I've seen a few fake things on that. Because I didn't think.
It probably is then, mate.
Because I thought he was with Argentina at the moment.
Yeah, it was before the Argentina games.
It's not coming up. I think
maybe it is then.
There's that thing, and there's been a few of them because Barcelona done a pre-season game against Inter Miami, but when they had the pink third kit, so he looks like.
I can't even remember what the colour of the kit was on the clip that I saw, but it was on. I know they never really the most reliable of sources, but it was Sports Bible.
Okay.
Yeah, because I remember clicking it and thinking I didn't even know that the MLS was still playing because I never really look at any of their anyway.
No. Well, it's an interesting one actually. It'd be interesting to see if that's the case. I haven't seen nothing about it, but I know I've keep seeing like the fake ones for that come up as well.
To be fair, it's too easy to do all this the fake videos now, isn't it? There's been a TikTok account for a long while now, and he has the deep fake. He's got Tom Cruise on his own face, and he does the impressions and that, and he just comes out with all sorts of nonsense. Because I think the same account does impersonations of others as well. But it just looks so realistic, it's ridiculous. I mean, he must look similar enough in general anyway, so I don't know if it's the same height, but he's obviously got to do his hair the same way. And he's got to practice on facial features, like even the way he has like a bit of a crooked smile, and just the mannerisms. He's got to get them down to a T before he even has the deep fake and the voice as well. To be fair, but yeah, just the fact that they've got that technology to just wax that image over. So I know because the technology's developed that quick. Essentially, in a few years' time, actors won't even need to be hired to make these films. They can just have like the stunt doubles or whatever.
Well, have you seen? Have you heard where an AI does? So they have like say like Kanye West sing Thriller.
Yeah.
And of artists sing just through.
Yeah, there was a good one that I saw the other day. It was Elvis doing something. I can't remember.
So soon they won't need even artists to sing new songs.
There's a lot of them where it's the deep fake Arnold Schwarzenegger's face onto other characters in films and stuff, and then it's his voice and that as well. And they're funny because it's just you'd expect him to say get to the chopper and stuff, but it's not. He's doing. I don't know if one was Mrs. Doubtfire. One was Mrs. Doubtfire, and it's like Oh, hello there, children. But it's Arnold
Yeah.
Schwarzenegger's voice on that long. And they're like, fucking, it's mad. You know, it's clever. Because all this chat GBT and all that as well, the AI conversations. You know, they'll. I suppose we missed out on it really. I know that there's kids that are using it to write their coursework and everything for school. Yeah, we really missed out on that then, didn't we? Which I don't think they'd be able to find out. Like the teachers, I don't think they'd be able to find out if the children have actually cheated in that sense. Then, yeah, because it's
You just know they wouldn't be able to tell, would they?
Oh god, that's going to be mental. That is, isn't it? No. But saying that, they probably would know because if the child's thick as fuck,
Yeah, and he comes out with this like
banged
fucking,
out this essay or on Shakespeare or something, they're gonna know it now. They're gonna know. Yeah, madness. Yeah, so I think, well, it's definitely the end of my rant. Gabby can fucking go suck another cock or taste it out of his missus. We'll leave it at that one for that.
Yeah.
Sam Smith. Stop
No
the
more.
crowd
Yeah,
surfing.
it didn't work.
It's the fact that clip that I sent to you as well. It was the Bugs Life bit afterwards.
Yeah.
Trying to get the caterpillar up. Oh god. Right. So yeah, bit of a shorter one today. We're busy. I've finished doing some grafting. Ashley's house. That's why I'm in my work clothes. Do try and make an effort sometimes, but in case you are watching on YouTube and you're thinking you've got paint on your shirts and stuff, it's because I've been painting, hanging radiators and whatever. So, yeah, as always, don't forget to like, subscribe. So, YouTube, it is Real Talking Pod. If you just type it in, Real Talking Podcast, Ash and JD, you'll see us there. Twitter, Ash and JD. I haven't even checked the emails this week. I apologise if anyone has sent any emails in.
We'll get them all sorted for the next. But also, just email him. We'll read them.
Yeah, it has been a long week. The heat hasn't helped. It's been another hot week again. I've got to drop the van off, and then I've got to get on the beers. So, hope you've enjoyed, and we'll see you next week.